Hello, hashtag listen family. It's Callie Hendricks here, your host for The Theatre. And today I'm coming to you from the Kwena Art Institute all the way in Cape Town. Now, my guest today is the beautiful Marizaan Bredenkamp. Welcome to hashtag listen.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
It's such a you have such an extensive expertise. You are an HR professional, but you're also a businesswoman. You're a philanthropist, an MC, a life coach, a speaker. How do you balance all of those things?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think from a young age,
Mhm.
I've learned to, like they say, keep the balls in the air.
Yes, yes.
And so for me, it's always just good to stay
Yeah,
busy and to stay relevant. I see myself as a gap filler. So if I
sure.
see something is wrong, if I see there's a gap or I
Yeah,
see there's a need,
sure.
then I almost like to, try to fill that gap.
Yes, yes.
And for me, it's all about passion
Mhm.
and about creating
Yeah,
hope.
yeah.
So I guess, yeah. So if I have time in my hands, I try to use that
Yeah.
positively.
So you obviously went, as a professional, you went in the HR direction. What was your driving force behind deciding that?
Actually, so I didn't start out, in my professional career
Mm-hmm.
as an HR
Yeah,
person or
sure.
practitioner or manager. I actually studied cost and management accounting.
Okay, yes.
But from doing that, I also got to do payroll. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously, with the payroll, you get to deal a lot with the employees.
Yes.
And I just started to, because that's me. I
Yeah,
grew up in a pastor's home, so I was always surrounded by people, with
sure.
youth and doing development and so
Mm-hmm.
on. So I just fell in love with assisting the people, even
Yeah.
if it was with their wage queries.
Yes, yes.
And then I started to ask for more responsibilities
Mm-hmm.
when it came to, more the HR side,
Yeah.
and they asked me, can you do employment contracts? Can you
Mm-hmm.
do, help with training and
Yeah.
development? And then only afterwards,
Yeah.
I studied a
A bachelor's
bachelor's degree in human
HR.
resources
Yeah.
management. And I've never looked back. I
Sure.
mean, I love and I know that a lot of HR people get a bad name because they sometimes they don't have the passion
Yeah.
to actually be a neutral
Yeah.
party and assist in the
Yeah.
workplace.
Yeah.
But, I try to do it differently. I try to, make a positive
Mm-hmm.
impact
Mm-hmm.
in the workplace.
Yeah.
Well,
And you've
yeah.
also worked in various fields as an HR practitioner. You've been in the food manufacturing, you've been in logistics and pharmaceuticals. So
Yes.
what would you say are the unique challenges or opportunities that you find across all of these different fields?
Sure, it's difficult. I would say it's different types of people that
Mm-hmm.
you get to work with.
Yeah.
If you look at something like the pharmaceutical industry,
Yeah.
it's more your professional field
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of those people that work there needs to be highly skilled because you
Yes.
can just think to yourself that if they work with tablets and things
Yes.
that you have
Yes.
to consume,
Consume. Yeah.
that has to for pain medication, it has to be, they say, fit for its intended use.
Yeah.
So other words, you cannot hana around. You have
Yes.
to know what you
What you're
must do.
doing. Yeah.
So it's all these people with doctor's degrees
Mm-hmm.
and master's degrees that you have to work with. But looking at the logistics field, now you have a lot of drivers, you have more blue collar
Yeah.
workers, with food manufacturing, you have they have cleaners, you have factory workers. So those people don't have master's degrees
Yeah.
or
Sure.
doctorates. They are general workers. They are people in our community,
Yeah.
which I love to work with
Yeah.
because I always try to upskill them and get them, training and development. So I've learned over the years to work with different types
Types
of
of people.
people. So I
Sure.
always tell them that, I can speak to the cleaner, but I can also speak to the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have money if you talk to me, but if you do,
I can
I
talk
would
to you
be
too.
able to have a
Yes.
conversation
Yes.
with you and make you feel valued.
Yeah.
And for me, I must say, I love the manufacturing industry a lot
Yeah.
because I've been the longest there. And you get the most out of it
Mm-hmm.
because you can literally see how somebody with no experience, that's unskilled, with no qualification,
Sure.
and you give them the opportunity, through CETA grants and those types of things,
Yeah.
and give them skills development. And after a few years, they become a supervisor or
Yeah.
manager,
Sure.
and they're able to care for their family much better.
Yes. Yes.
So for me, I mean, that makes it worth it.
You
see
mentioned
that.
that you love upskilling and developing, and I know you also went the life coaching route.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, so that happened by by accident. So maybe we'll talk about the NPO later on, but I've got a mentor, and part of a mentorship process, you're supposed to mentor something else. You're also supposed to have a mentee.
Sure.
So a couple of years ago, I started a girls mentorship group under Hope for Youth South Africa,
Yes.
and it just grew from there.
Yeah.
So and later on, if you're doing the professional route, life coaching, or try to assist startups with business coaching and entrepreneurship, you'll have to have the right skills and certificates behind your name, etc. So yeah, so I kind of, through the girls mentorship, went into that route, because you have to be almost deliberate. Maybe that's not the right word, but you have to put yourself out there in order to let people know that they are not alone. There is people out there to assist them. And because I have a mentor, I know what it means to me to be
have
able to go
someone.
to somebody.
Yes.
You don't necessarily want to go to your family or to your colleagues, but a neutral party where you can say, look, I'm struggling with this, or I need to make a big life decision.
Yes.
Can you please guide me?
Yeah.
Life coach is not supposed to tell you what to do, but just almost like what you must do. They must just almost just
Like
guide
put
you
certain
to
systems in place for you to get
exactly,
get
and
there.
weigh up like the pros and cons
Yeah.
of that situation, and
Yes.
just help you think a little bit
Sure.
outside the box to come to your own conclusion.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. So you mentioned about your MPO. Can you maybe just elaborate on that?
Yeah, I think it's a small passion project that's now very big. I started the NPO, Hope for Youth, together with my husband. Uh, I think 2013 or something
Sure.
like that. So we, 2 years ago we celebrated our 10 years.
Yeah.
And we're so privileged. I mean, we now in a couple of regions in South Africa, and my husband, he's in charge of the boys mentorship. He does father and son camps.
Yes.
I'm in charge of the girls mentorship and women empowerment and entrepreneurship. And then the NPO also does training at schools, youth at risk of falling out of school, as well as leadership development,
Sure.
working with your top academic students, your school councils, and so on, just to, because what happens is, I mean, we all know people that's on school that did very well, they're in top 10, but somewhere when you see them after 10 years or 20 years, it's like, what happened to this person?
Yes.
Because they were so clever on school, and somewhere along the line, because of poverty, because of alcohol abuse,
just the environment.
exactly, because of where they grew up, and because of lack of support, they could not reach their dreams. So we kind of assisting those types of strong candidates, and holding their hand, and and try to get them into tertiary education, and even beyond that, walk the mentorship journey with them.
So it's been, like you said, over 10 years now.
Correct.
Can you maybe share one or two of your success stories that you've had, that, people who've come through the mentorship program?
Sure. There is so many, but if I can think of one, I would definitely say it was a boy that was, he did not grow up with his parents. He grew up with his grandparents, as that's most of our stories. Myself, I mean, I grew up with my grandparents. And there was only alcohol abuse. His father was a gangster, so everything was against him.
Sure.
Even the school that he was in wanted to write him off. And then he started in our youth at risk program
Mm-hmm.
because he was at risk of falling out of the school
Sure.
system.
Yeah.
He did so well, um, just because he knew that there was somebody in his
Mm-hmm.
corner.
Mm-hmm.
He did so well, and then after 2 years, when he was grade 10, he went into our leadership development program
Sure.
because he became the captain of the
Rugby
rugby
team.
team and the cricket team.
Sure.
And he is studying now at a
Yeah.
university.
Sure.
Um, so we're looking forward.
Yeah.
So for me, that is possible, and there's so many other stories with
Yeah.
with girls as well. I
Sure.
mean, a girl that went through a rape case, for
Mm-hmm.
example, that was her self-esteem was low.
Sure.
I mean, low. So
Yeah.
it literally had to take a couple of months just to get her back to say that I am beautiful, I'm worth it, and I can make it.
Yeah.
And that girl is also, she finished matric last year, so she's also going to study. So we're still a long way to
Long way.
go,
Yeah. Sure.
but just to have that value
Yeah.
back, for me, that's amazing
Yeah.
stories. Yeah.
So when you're taking in the students, like you say, how long do you plan on taking them through your programs?
So if you look at, let's say, father and son training,
Yeah.
that's about 6 months. So that we do outside the school. With the mentorship, girls and boys mentorship,
Mm-hmm.
that is from grade 7
Yeah.
up until grade 12.
Sure.
And after grade 12, you become a mentor,
Yeah.
and then you must obviously
Have to
mentor
mentor
the younger
someone else.
girls.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a continuous thing.
Cycle. Yeah. So you're not
And
just mentoring people, but you're also raising up mentors.
correct.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah. And in your experience, can you just share how has that evolved your communities where you are, where these mentorship programs take place?
Sure. We focus predominantly on youth,
Mm-hmm.
but my eyes opened a lot to community development as well,
Yeah.
because you hear the stories from the young people where they are struggling in the community.
Sure.
So now you tend to want to almost help the parents as well,
Yes. Yes.
with food, the girls and the boys, with toiletries and
Yeah.
pads and those types of things. So, I mean, lately within the last 2 years, we've done a lot of community development
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
with food parcels and
Yes.
cleanup of
Yes.
communities
Yes.
and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the impact is massive. So
Sure.
it's now beyond just the young people. It
Yeah.
goes to their
To the
families,
families.
as well.
Yeah, and ultimately empowering the future of those communities as
Yes.
these kids grow up.
Yeah.
So where do you see your programs in the next 5 to 10 years?
Not me on the steer.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, I'm moving, I'm transitioning where I feel, I must now raise up, the
Yeah.
next generation of
Yeah.
Marizaans
Yes.
that must take over, that's gonna break ceilings.
Sure.
So I'm looking for girls, young women, to train and develop them so that they can run with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my passion is moving more into, assisting entrepreneurs, doing women empowerment specifically, young
Sure.
women and young married couples.
Yeah.
So I want, I need people to take over what I've been doing for the last, 12
Yes.
years.
Yes. Yes.
So that I can move over to the next phase of my
Yes.
life.
Yes.
Otherwise, because what will happen if I die today?
Yeah.
So I don't want everything to revolve around
Around you.
me,
Sure.
because even though I've started this, it doesn't end. It doesn't begin and end with
Yeah.
me.
Yes.
It's about more, and it's about everybody.
Yeah.
And I'll share my resources
Sure.
and so on. Yeah.
Speaking about entrepreneurship and women's development, what challenges do you think entrepreneurs are facing the most at the moment?
Sorry, men, but there are still too little women entrepreneurs.
Sure.
And you know, a lot of times, and I see one of the crews laughing now, it's a man, but there is still too little women. And you know, I feel so blessed being interviewed by a woman
Yeah, yeah.
today, because we sometimes don't get taken seriously, and
Sure.
sometimes we have to put on this face and front,
Yeah.
because we have to show the world that we want to be taken
Mm-hmm.
seriously, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Because we can't be too soft, you know, we can't be too hard, then we're robust, and we
Yes.
can't be too soft, then we typically
And
like
we're weak.
women, like, yeah, we're
Yeah.
weak. So for me is just to, yeah, there is too little. So I want to spend the next 5 years to raise up, assist, give resources and
Sure.
guidance to women, you
Yeah.
know, that want to stand out. And I'm not saying that I'm on top of a mountain yet. I'm not saying that I've made it in life.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
haven't.
Sure.
I still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
But I have this drive and this passion and this fire inside of me to assist and to help women.
Yeah.
Those that want to be helped, those
Sure.
that want to be heard.
Yeah.
I mean, hashtag listen. I feel like I mean, what you guys are
Yeah,
doing.
sure.
I mean, we need to, and as women, we need to stand together.
Yes,
Otherwise, we're
yes.
not going to make
Yeah.
it. And for me, it's women. We look at a lot of other things that men sometimes don't take note of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we are caring human beings,
Yeah.
and we shouldn't change
Yeah.
for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What role do you think, speaking of women in entrepreneurship, what role do you think empathy, and values like empathy and honesty and trustworthiness play in our culture today, where we hear that, women in businesses are not necessarily the bosses or shouldn't be there. How can we change that narrative?
I would definitely, values is one of the first things that we teach. Values
Mm-hmm.
is it's the biggest.
Yeah,
And I feel women shouldn't lose that.
sure.
They should stick to who they are. I've seen a lot of women CEOs
Mm-hmm.
that are making amazing impact. And I think women should just be given a
A chance,
chance,
sure.
because obviously there is a lot of challenges
Mm-hmm.
in the boardroom
Yeah,
if you look at corporate jobs, and things like
yeah.
that. Because in the past, I mean, it's a historic thing, you know, where women were at home, you know,
Yeah,
looking after the children, looking after the wife, and the husbands were the only ones that were allowed to work.
yeah,
So it's a mental thing.
sure.
And I'm not saying that the roles should change.
Mm-hmm.
Men should sit at home and women
We
should
should go
work,
in the, yes.
which is happening a lot
Yeah,
nowadays
yeah.
with corporate women. But I feel there should be
Mm-hmm.
equality,
Mm-hmm.
you know, equity when it comes to, you know, men and women. But
Mm-hmm.
women should also not lose that respect for the men in their
Men,
lives, you
yes,
know,
yes.
because if you look at, you know, if I may say so, you know, Christianity, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
Christian, so there still needs to be that respect
Yeah,
in terms of a godly order,
sure.
you know, when it comes to, you know, submitting to your
Yeah, husband.
husbands. And a lot of the times now, women lose that,
Yeah,
you know, and it ends up in divorce court.
sure.
So, women, that's why I'm saying women should keep to their values. They
Mm-hmm.
should keep to who God made them, you
Yeah,
know, be that strong and bold. I mean, we carry babies.
sure.
Men cannot do that.
Sure.
And so we should stick to what we know, what
Yeah,
we are, who we are, and we will make amazing
yeah.
impact in the communities. Yeah.
We're still in the beginning of 2025. What advice would you share with a woman listening to this, and they have these goals and they have this vision to make 2025, they want to make a different year. They want to maybe start a business, or they maybe want to apply for that promotion. What advice would you give them?
Just do it.
Sure.
I mean, my favorite quote
Mm-hmm.
is, "Be the change that you wish to see in the
Yes.
world." You know, sometimes we sit, we moan, we groan, we
Yeah.
don't get up, we do something. If you see, and I started out the conversation
Yeah.
with, you know, being a gap filler. So
Yes,
if you
yes.
see there's something, and as part of the training that I give, I always ask the audience, what makes you angry?
Sure.
What makes you so angry in the world that you feel that you want to change it?
Yes,
You know,
yes.
if it's something, and this has to do with your passion and your purpose. If you're
Mm-hmm.
struggling to know, you know, what is your passion, what is your purpose in life, because that is where we get stuck.
Yeah.
You know, and then I always ask the question, what makes you so angry that you feel that you want to change it? And that is the thing that you must focus on.
Sure.
If it's children, if it's you know, application, you know, IT related, if it's drama and arts, you
Mm-hmm.
know, culture, if it's sport, if it's you know, product, if it's people's hair, if it's doesn't matter what it is, what makes you so angry that you want to
Yeah.
change it? So that is your passion project, and that is what you focus on. So if you can do something that makes you money in the process,
Sure.
then girl, do it.
Yes, yes, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. And what is one of the exciting projects that you're working on for this year that is your girl, just do it?
Oh my word, I don't even know if I must say it because it's so hush hush, and I feel like people is going to listen to this. But I'm just going to be bold and I'm just going to say it. So I have a huge passion for arts and culture
Mm-hmm.
as well. I mean, I grew up, you know, with choirs and singing and those types of things. And I want to start a South African youth choir
Sure.
that is multicultural
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, with an orchestra,
Sure.
you
Yeah.
know. That is something that I've now for the last 2 years worked on it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I want to involve the schools within South Africa. We're obviously going to start in the Western Cape
Sure.
and try to go to other regions.
Yeah.
But that is something really that I want to
Yeah.
focus on. And there might be other two businesses that I want to start, but I'm not going to say anything yet. Let
Sure.
me first, yeah. So yeah. So that is something that I want to really focus
Yeah.
on, and that's why I said in the some of the previous questions is that I want to raise up, you know,
Yes.
young
Young
women to
people.
take
Yeah.
over from me
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
doing now, so
Yeah.
that I can move to the next
Yes.
innovative thing
Yes.
that I want to do.
Yeah, you seem
Okay.
you seem like you have your hands quite full. You know, I don't know how many of those balls are still in the air, but I have to ask you, how do you still stay true to Marizaan? What grounds you to
Ah,
keep on waking up every day and push?
I
Um,
think, yeah, I would say two things.
mhm.
It's definitely God
Yeah,
and my family.
sure.
You know, my husband keeps me on the straight and narrow, and my children keeps me humble. So,
Yeah.
so definitely, I mean, family time is important for me.
Yes.
I have an amazing husband, Denzel, and he is a big supporter. I
Sure.
mean, he's here today. He
Yeah.
drove with me, and I don't know how he keeps up with me, really. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I
Yeah.
just have the most
Yeah.
amazing husband. I'm blessed.
Sure.
And also to instill, because
Mhm.
what I do is, or what we do in the house is, myself and my husband, anything that we want to do with other kids outside, our kids are our guinea pigs.
Yeah.
So we try everything on them first, you
Sure.
know, the lessons, and see the response and
Yeah.
things like that. So they are well trained,
Yeah.
you know, when
Yeah.
you meet them, they are well trained.
Sure.
But it's definitely, I would say, God.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's my first,
Yeah.
you know, and my family,
Family. Sure.
and
The rest
the
comes
rest
after
comes
that.
after that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And obviously, how do you stay strong? You know, like physically to be managing all of these different projects.
I think I've learned a lot to try to prioritize.
Yeah.
So to diarize
Mhm.
things is important for me,
Yeah.
you know, to make sure, and you know, that I have time to do all of
Yes.
these things.
Yes. Yes.
I literally book out time for myself and my
Sure.
family,
Yeah.
and I don't take anything else. So if
Yeah.
there's a weekend, you know, or a Friday, then
Yeah.
I'll book out the whole
Yeah.
day and say I'm not going to do anything but
Sure.
focus on my family. Even if
Yes.
I just sit home with them, we'll
Yeah.
play games or whatever. doesn't matter what happens,
Yes.
unless it's an emergency.
Yeah.
You focus on the family.
Yeah.
Because many a times, people that are, they get too busy, they don't
Yes,
have
yes, that's
time
exactly
for their
why I wanted to
families.
ask these
No.
questions.
So
Yes.
so if we so if I travel and we can't take our kids with,
Yeah.
then we take them with
Sure.
everywhere
Yeah.
that we go. If we cannot, they understand.
And
But they're
sure.
at that stage now where they say, no, they don't want to go with. So I guess it's a good thing, we've
Yes,
got
yeah.
Wi-Fi at home.
Yeah.
Try to keep the kids off the Wi-Fi and the phones. But they're at that stage now
Yeah.
where they feel they want to stay home. So I
Yes.
guess it's, yeah.
Yeah. No, the reason for my previous two questions is that many times I've experienced it in my
Yes.
life as well. As women, especially, we're juggling a lot. There's a lot of roles outside of just the business, and we often face burnout.
Yes.
Because we want to do it all.
Yeah.
And it's important to hear from someone who is juggling these multiple
Yeah.
things. Just how do you keep the main thing the main thing?
Yeah.
What systems do you have in place across the board for home life, um, driving the kids to school, and your businesses to make sure that all the balls are in the air?
Yeah, I'll definitely say with my business. So I am an HR consultant
Yes,
now,
yes.
Unite 360. I'm the managing director there. So I don't take any clients. I choose my clients,
Sure.
just as they choose me. For me, it's not about making millions of
Mm-hmm.
rands.
Yeah.
It's living comfortably.
Sure.
And also having the flexibility. So yeah, I decide how many hours
Mm-hmm.
I
I
want
want
to
to work.
work during the
Sure.
month,
Yeah.
and I work according to that, because my salary, because I'm a consultant,
Mm-hmm.
my salary at the end of the month is also linked to the hours that I worked.
Yes.
So if that hours is full, I that to the next month, and that is how I arrange, my life. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, with the kids now, we take turns. My husband has also flexible work.
Yeah.
So he drives the kids. I drive them
Sure.
sometimes. So we take turns.
Yeah. And then to just wrap up the interview, I want to ask you three short, quick fire questions.
Oh.
Just to, yeah, just to put you in the hot seat a little bit, but it's
Okay.
all just to really see and try and help other women watching this.
Okay. Try my
So, what
best.
is one book or resource that you think every woman entrepreneur should read?
Ooh, Who Moved My Cheese?
Sure.
I don't know if you've heard about
Yes, I
that
have.
book.
It's quite a small one as well.
It's a very small
So,
one. It's a very, so
yes,
if you
but
don't like reading, that book is like literally
yes,
so thin. Who Moved My Cheese?
yeah,
You can go read it.
yes.
Yeah.
Second one, a skill that you think is underrated for women entrepreneurs, but is critical to success.
Um, I think compassion.
Yeah, sure. And then the third one, that was short and sweet. Your favorite part about being a female entrepreneur?
Ah, it's still tough out there. My favorite part. Oh my word, this is a fire question for me.
Yes.
I think there's so many. I think the compliments
Mhm.
from other women,
Sure.
when I meet them and I network,
Yeah.
and they feel inspired.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that makes me feel inspired
Yes.
when
Yes.
they get
That's
inspired,
right.
because when I hear there's other women entrepreneurs or other women tackling or trying to do stuff for
Mhm.
themselves, then I feel inspired because of
Yes.
them. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Is that
100%.
fine?
Yes. Um, thank you so much. I'm definitely
My
inspired
pleasure.
by you just taking on so much selflessly at that,
Yeah.
really to help the next person. So, one last piece of advice would you give women who are sitting there feeling like I have something to give, but I don't know where to start?
Yeah, it's I'm gonna that favorite phrase of mine.
Mm-hmm.
It's be the change that you wish to see in the world.
Yeah.
And definitely if you feel that you don't know where to start, find out what your passion is,
Yeah.
first of all, and start small.
Sure.
There's no business that just started big. You know, go read up on stories of people that started to sell things from their garage,
Sure.
or that started to make things in their kitchen.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the story of, you know, Ina Parman.
Parman. Yes, yes.
You know, she started because she wanted to teach people to cook. And she started in a kitchen because she couldn't cook, I
Yeah.
think, properly for her husband or something. And she was taught by somebody, and then she started to teach other women
Yeah.
how to bake cakes. And
Yes.
later people heard of her and they came for training.
Yeah.
And now she's
Yeah.
got
the spices range and all of those
everything.
things.
I mean,
yes.
if you go up and you read about the stories of people, they all started. I mean, those that don't have money like us, they started small,
Yeah.
and you don't know where it's going to
Sure.
end up.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, just believe in your product.
Sure.
And go kick the doors out. There's a lot of opportunities specifically for Black entrepreneurs, you know, people of color. There's a lot of avenues out there that
Sure.
has been created because
Yeah.
of Black empowerment.
Yeah.
And we mustn't feel like, oh, I don't want to do this because of BE or whatever the case may be. Utilize that resource because it wasn't there a couple of years ago.
Sure.
Whilst it's there, utilize the resource. Don't feel like I'm a white, so I don't need this money.
Sure.
You know, you're only fooling yourself. So whilst the resources is still there,
Yeah.
utilize it. There's CETA grants, there's, you know, the reserve, you know, there's the banks,
Yes.
there's CEDA, there's you know, the youth NIDA if you're under 35.
Yes, yes.
You know, the National Youth Development Agency. There's a lot of places where you can go, and I'm more than willing to share some of those resources and websites with any woman that feels on the platform that they want to, you know, just put themselves out there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm more than willing to share.
And how can those women get in touch with you on any social media? Or?
Yeah, so I am on socials, just Marizaan Bredenkamp on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, even though I don't grasp Instagram so good. More Facebook person, I feel older. But and then my business, my HR business is Unite 360 South Africa. You know, unity and holistic approach. That's 60.
Got you, very smart.
And then and Hope for Youth South Africa.
Sure.
You can go follow, and obviously, maybe I think my details will be in #listen, right?
Yes, of course.
So if you can't get hold of me, contact the team at #listen and get hold of me. I'm more than welcome.
Marizaan, thank you so much for gracing us on the #listen podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
And that brings us to the end of yet another episode of The Theatre. From me, Callie, here at the Kwena Art Institute, I'm signing out.